Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so thankful y'all are here. I pray you can find home here, and if so, welcome. So in this video, I want to talk to you all about how narcissism forces you to reject yourself. Now, everything I'm about to talk about is from my personal experiences, from talking to other people who went through similar situations, and also just doing research online and trying to basically connect the dots of what this type of person or what this energy of narcissism really looks like. And what I've grown to learn is that narcissism is not just a personality disorder. Narcissism literally runs this world currently. It's the reason why we feel so much lack. Narcissism has a way of making people feel like there's something within them that they lack and they need to change. They aren't where they need to be. They aren't who they need to be. It's very sneaky. It's not always overt and expressive and out there and big. So today I want to talk to y'all about how the energy of narcissism forces you to reject yourself. Dual trust cannot exist. And what that means is you cannot trust yourself and trust them at the same time for narcissism to work. They have to get you, and I'm just going to say they, even though I am talking about the energy and everything else, but narcissists have to get you to believe that their perspective, their thoughts, their opinion is the only one that matters. And they go about this a few different ways, but ultimately, if you were to really trust yourself wholeheartedly, if you were to really believe in yourself and listen to your intuition, a lot of times we wouldn't have even been in narcissistic relationships. They wouldn't even be able to hijack our sense of self if we were to really trust ourselves. So they have a way of being able to break into your psychological barrier to then establish control over you. They're unable to genuinely connect to other people. They're unable to feel all of their emotions and still have a sense of, I'm feeling these emotions. As we all know, we can all feel insecure at times. We can all feel petty at times, mad, upset, sad. We can always feel those emotions, but we're still connected to them. We know that we're experiencing these feelings. But with narcissists, they blame everybody else for why they feel how they feel. They blame everybody else for not praising them for the good person that they are, rather than saying, hey, you aren't that good of a person in this situation, or you could have made a different decision or treated this person differently. The act of introspection, the act of taking accountability isn't really a thing. So they can't form these close-knit relationships because they're unable to be vulnerable. They don't know what vulnerable is. They don't really have a self to be vulnerable with. So they have to establish this control and force you to reject yourself so that you don't see through them, so that you can't say, wait, this is manipulation, wait, this is abuse. The images that you're trying to project onto me aren't me. So their self-esteem is external. If they can get you to feed into their ego and big them up as a credible person, then one, they don't have to do the work to actually be a good person, actually be an accountable person. And also, since they don't have that internal sense of self, it helps them to feel real. It helps them to feel worthy when they can have people around them that only validate the good parts about them, that only validate, you know, things that help them feel like they're doing a good job in life. If anybody is coming to them with authenticity or realness, this directly threatens their self-esteem and their sense of self, because again, they externally regulate. So if you think you're gonna approach a narcissist with truth about how you feel and it's not something good and they have to put in work or be a better person, you're going to be discarded because you're no longer validating that they're a good person. You're no longer validating the self-esteem or the worthiness that they want to naturally have. So they have to get you out the way and find somebody who's going to lie to them and keep their character in a good light instead of being honest about how they're treating people. So in order to control you, they have to project onto you that you're incompetent, that you're too much, too sensitive, not enough, not caring, not thoughtful, whatever it is that they know would challenge who you know you are. So say you're a thoughtful person, you always think about others over yourself. They can sense what type of personality you have. They can sense what type of person you are. And so they'll play on your own intuition. They'll play on who you know yourself to be, whether consciously or unconsciously. They'll play on that to make you question yourself, to make you go into this deep introspection of, dang, am I being unkind? Am I being thoughtless, or treating them like I don't care? Because again, if they can get you to question who you are at your core, then they gain a little bit of power over you, because you're now going to be like, okay, now am I being caring? Okay, wait, let me try to change some stuff up, do things differently. Now is this better serving you in a way? And I hate to even say that, because it's just like, cringe, am I serving you? But ultimately, when you're in a relationship with these people, they want to keep you on a string. They want to keep you guessing so that they can be the one to say, okay, you're doing a good job now, or no, you're doing terrible. Why would anybody think that? Why would anybody say that? You're ridiculous. So they want to keep you on this string to make sure they can always control, one, how you see them, and to make sure that you never get too far into your own security, your own sureness, your own intuition, and start to call them out on their BS. Because again, this is the only way they've learned so far to establish relationships. So they create this huge power dynamic where they now have a lot of control over how you feel about yourself as a person. And typically, once they earn your trust enough to establish that power, this is when the gaslighting starts. This is when they start triangulating or comparing you to other people, and just doing whatever they have to do to make you feel bad about who you are. So there's this energy of, you don't see the situation right, but I do. I know exactly how this went or how this played out. You're not seeing it right. You're not remembering things right. You may see a situation as going good or going smooth, and the whole time they're like, no, this is absolutely terrible, and what you did 2 months ago, remember that. And they find any way to keep you in a negative space, because I think also what we don't realize is that narcissism operates on a very, very, very low frequency, because they're using people for their own sense of self. They have to keep people in a place of guilt. So forgiveness, forget about it. They're going to bring up everything you did from your past. They're going to bring up every situation where you may not have acted in the best light or acted as you know you should have, regardless of if you've apologized, regardless of if y'all have moved past the situation. It doesn't really matter. They're operating on such a low frequency that they'll use any and every negative feeling to keep you on a hook. So if that's guilt, they're going to use it. If it's shame, they're going to use it. If that's, exploiting you while you're sick or more vulnerable, they're going to do it. With these relationships, there's basically conditional validation. Validation is a very normal part of being a human being. In our childhoods, we should have received consistent, unconditional validation in a way where if we were thinking something that could hurt us or damage us, our parents could steer us in the right direction, but still validate that they understand what we're thinking, or they want to understand more about what we're thinking. So validation doesn't mean that people have to completely agree with everything we're saying. Validation doesn't mean that everything you do or say is correct. Validation is simply, hey, I see what you're saying, I see what you mean, I see how you feel, and what you feel is true, and it's what you're experiencing. But let me show you a different way. Let me show you a more efficient way. Or have you thought about this like that? So I think a lot of people view validation as just, oh, just tell me I'm right. Just tell me that how I'm seeing things is correct. And it's not even necessarily that. Validation is more so what you're feeling is valid, and I want to work with you as a team or as a family or a couple to find to find a better resolve, to find a way to move past this or work through this together. But again, with narcissism, validation isn't there to keep you all on one accord or to show you that they're there for you. Validation is used as a tool to keep you in line. So if you're doing something that praises their ego, that makes them feel like the hero or, you know, the good person, then they're going to give you that validation. They're going to say, I see you. They're going to give you those gifts. They're going to pour out their love and admiration. But if you're trying to hold them accountable, if you're trying to get them to see your perspective, more than likely they're going to take that validation away. They're going to say, you're seeing things wrong. You're stupid. Who would ever think something like that? You don't know any better. You know, they're going to make you feel really bad for whatever you feel as a way to establish that control over you. If you grow up in a household where you never felt safe enough to completely open up to your family, if the emotional stability in your childhood wasn't there, say you didn't have both parents, or there was a lot of high emotional turbulence in your family due to maybe mental illnesses or just a long generational history of people not being able to completely present their authentic self, you're more vulnerable to fall victim to a narcissist because you already have a sense of yourself disengaged. You're already going into life as an adult rejecting parts of yourself by not flowing through life in an authentic way, you know, doing things that don't really match who you are. It's a lot of different ways we can reject ourselves and then fall victim to people who will also play on that wound and that habit that you have of rejecting yourself. So I'm not going to go into full detail, but of course childhood wounds that can make you more vulnerable are, you know, being constantly invalidated for your own thoughts, your own beliefs and perspective, being made to feel that you're offensive or your natural expression is offensive. So you walk around with a wound of feeling like you have to tiptoe around everything, even something as simple as breathing or certain body movements. You don't feel free in your space because you have this idea that you're going to offend or step on somebody's toes or trigger somebody's big emotions. Your authentic self was never truly nurtured. Your authentic self was never received on a safe landing or in a safe place. So it feels like you being your authentic self and really stepping and asserting yourself into the world, it feels scary. You may hold back, you may suppress, you may not even know how to be yourself because again, that wasn't nurtured. If y'all could only see these notes right now, like, do y'all see them? It's kind of hard to see, but I literally just sit at work sometimes and a thought will come to my mind and I'm just on my phone like, oh my God, I gotta get this out. So it might be a little jumbled up, but I hope y'all can really understand my message. I feel like the people who get it and who resonate with it will understand. I'm so happy to be in a space where I can give y'all this information. And as I grow and change and learn, I just want to make myself as available and as open and as transparent as I can possibly be so that we can all find a life that truly means something to us, that truly feels purposeful. If you made it to the end of this video, I am so thankful and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.